PartyCast! It's me! We don't got any pants on! We're back! There hasn't been one of these in a year, and this is back! This one! It's the first one back! It's Johnny Old School! It's Jesse Wood! You just got back today! The Wild Boys that have been away haven't changed that much to say, but I still think them cats are crazy! The rest, and if you were around, how you was when you could be found. I told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. Suck my dick, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. It's the best and most goddamn PartyCast! It's the goddamn PartyCast, man! Suck on my penis! You suck on my penis! You suck on my penis! You suck on my big fat and floppy dick! Ah, shit!
Howdy, buckos! Welcome once again to the Bits and Booze PartyCast. I'm one of your hosts, motherfucking Johnny Old School, and here with my man, Mr. Drowning in Footwear, Drowning in Horseshoes, drowning whenever the fuck you want to fucking drown in, pussy, semen, blood, used tampons, dead pony carcasses. I don't know where I'm fucking going with this. Jesse fucking Wood.
Where's my pants?
Well, I assume they're on the ground around your ankles, like we agreed on before this podcast. It is a pants off podcast, right?
That is what it's called, right? The pants off.
Pants off pot. Oh man, no, that's a decent premise for a fucking podcast, right there.
We should have thought of that,
dude. No, honestly, we should actually do a podcast where we podcast with people where none of us are wearing pants, like full on naked. Like we got a t-shirt on, and we just got our dicks hanging out.
It would have to be like a video podcast, so people can see us lounging around, just in our boxers,
lounging around, free and easy, free balling it. I like that.
We'd be the best guys. We'd make all the fame.
Whole, like, free the nipple campaign. Why not free the penis tip?
Yeah.
It needs air. It's beautiful. It's one of God's creations. Why not let it out? Why not let it around to frolic and enjoy the woodland creatures, just like Jesus intended? I'm talking about squirrel rape, of course. So it's been a while. It's been a while since we did a podcast, and we got two topics. We have cartoons and blasphemy. Or maybe it was riots.
It was riots.
Riots, right.
That was the only two things I could think of, because that's what I'm looking at right now on my Facebook feed.
I just wanted to talk about blasphemy, because it's fun to blaspheme God's holy church.
It is indeed.
Well, let's start off with the Easter.
I remember the old days when I was a kid in catechism. I'd break in after hours and wipe my balls on the crackers.
Oh, man, that was you?
And people would put them on their tongues.
I thought those tasted unnecessarily salty and sweaty.
That's the salt of Jesus.
I always assumed it was the pedophilic priest.
That's the ball sweat of the Lord, son.
The ball sweat of the Lord.
Do you think?
Well,
do you think that
the Pope?
Do you think that the Pope can bless his semen for when he shoots it on boys' faces?
I think from a technical, almost clinical standpoint, he probably could. I think there's probably some form he could sign. Yeah.
If I blessed my ball sweat and I wiped my balls on a vampire, would the vampire die? Well, I guess not, because I'm not a member of the cloth. It wouldn't count.
Okay, I mean, so holy water is water that's been blessed by a Catholic priest, properly blessed by a Catholic priest, and that's supposed to destroy vampires. So if you were a priest and you blessed the own water in your body and then you sweated out of your nutsack onto a vampire while you cock-slapped him, technically speaking, that should still cause his skin to dissolve. Because, I mean, what's the difference between, blessing water in a cup or blessing the water that's, 80% of the human body? Am I right? So maybe there should be like a movie where this Catholic priest like blesses his own body, so his whole body is water. So like any vampire he touches or pisses on or jizz on or bleeds on, it gets completely destroyed. They can call it piss jizzing spit blood priest vampire hunter. I got fucking nothing. But the concept is sound. The concept makes sense. The concept holds water. I'm so alone.
Bits and booze, all right. Pants off, ass cast.
Yes, I like that part. So going back to our two topics at hand, I wanted to bring up one of the lighter of the two topics between cartoons and riots, and that would of course be riots, because to me it's both hilarious and ridiculous that Baltimore is rioting right now. Actually, you know what? It's neither of those two. It's atrocious and tragic and abhorrent because hey, the police killed another person, and then everyone's like, hey, you fucking killed somebody. That's bullshit. We're gonna protest. And the protest turns into a riot. And then I see all these comments under these articles saying like, oh yeah, crack down on those rioters. What bunch of fucking criminals. And it's like, well, hold on a second here. Would anyone be rioting if somebody wasn't fucking murdered by the goddamn fucking cops? Like, are you telling me that Baltimore was just collectively planning a fucking riot and they were gonna do it anyways? No. Obviously not, you fucking assholes. You're the guys who planted the goddamn fucking seed for this whole fucking shit they have.
It's the media working overtime to blame the symptom and not the cause.
Oh yeah, 100 fucking percent. Fucking with you on that. Jesus Christ.
And like I'm seeing all these people on my Twitter and my Facebook like, whatever happened to nonviolent protest? Motherfucker, if nonviolent protest ever worked, then we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. The civil rights movement was an abject failure. It didn't fucking work. You're living in a fantasy world if you think it did. Martin Luther King, he was an inspirational figure. What happened to him? Oh yeah, he got fucking shot. Just like all the other black people are fucking shot. Just like everyone is fucking beaten down and had shit shoved in their asshole and raped in a dirty police station.
Yeah.
And then, people are mad about it and they fucking riot. But let's blame the rioters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because all those rioters, they're just gonna fuck shit up altogether collectively for no reason. They're planning on doing that anyways, and it just so happens to be this miraculous coincidence that the police fucking murdered some guy. They're not upset about that. They just want to wreck stuff. Jesus fucking Christ.
I've not seen like one person even talking about the guy who got murdered by the police.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You know, we're at the point now where it happens so often, we don't even talk about the people who get shot by the police. We just skip straight to demonizing the rioters.
You know, you can actually go through comments on these sorts of articles, and with enough discernment, you can actually see who still has their cable TV connected and who doesn't. Like, that's the level we're getting at now. You can see which opinions people are regurgitating from television and which opinions people are regurgitating from the internet. It's a stark contrast. I'm not going to say that the internet is like, oh, cancel cable TV and get all your opinions from the internet, and then you'll always be right. Obviously,
it's not just the media. It's also just people and the osmosis of like, I want to feel special, so I'm smarter than the rioters, and I'm smarter than
exactly.
You know, so people see people tweeting like, fuck these rioters, this is uncalled for, and then they go, yeah, it is. I'll be a smart guy if I say this is uncalled for.
Exactly.
As if as if violent revolution has never had a place in history. As if like I'm pretty sure that's the only kind of revolution that's ever worked, even for a little while. Like, what did they do to the Tsars in Russia? They rioted, and they killed them. They dragged them out of their castles and murdered them in the streets, and that's what we ought to be doing to the police. What I feel that really the riots are correct, and it's the only way. It's just aimed in the wrong direction. I think they were calibrating the catapult. They did it wrong, and they accidentally aimed at, like, a senior's home instead of the police station, but it was an accident. They just got to calibrate better.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'd submit to you this. Like, let's say there's this giant, ugly, fucking fire-breathing dragon who's, like, stealing all your damsels in distress and, like, fucking raping them and, like, tearing them apart and shit like that. And you're like, oh, how are we gonna fucking kill this giant fire-breathing dragon? And you send like a bunch of knights to kill it, and they just get fucking roasted in their own armor, and all their bones and armor is like fucking piling up in front of this giant dragon's den. And then like one valiant knight is like, the only way to kill this dragon is to become a dragon myself. And he seeks out like this crazy fucking wizard who can like turn him into an actual dragon. And he's like, oh, I'm a giant dragon now. And he fucking fights that dragon, he defeats it, and he's like, oh, you're all free, the dragon is killed. But then there's like still a fucking dragon there. You still got this fucking dragon, and the dragon is like, well, what am I supposed to do now? I'm a fucking dragon. I fucking kidnap damsels and rape them and tear people apart. And to me, that's kind of like the whole thing where it's like...
I want to see a dragon rape a damsel.
I can virtually guarantee you can find that in about 40 seconds with a Google image search. And by 40 seconds, I mean 3 seconds. And by 3 seconds, I mean you type the first 3 letters, and you'll probably come up with an entire page full of images, because the internet is disgusting. But my main point is that like if we constantly address like being like we constantly address being oppressed through violence with violence of our own, then like, oh yeah, we've overthrown this horrible oppression with violence by being violent people, and all the people in charge are people who've committed like violence acts, so they've already have like fucking prerequisite. They already have on their resume committed a fucking violent act, murdered some people, fucking firebomb cars and shit like that. And like, dude, I don't know what the fucking solution is. I don't know what the fucking solution is. I don't think that like repeating the same fucking shit is a solution, but I don't know what the other solution is. It certainly isn't just like sitting in a fucking drum circle and holding hands in front of fucking City Hall. You'll get pepper sprayed and you'll get your ass handed to you. But it's not like oh, we're being treated violently, we gotta treat them violently back, because it just perpetuates the whole fucking thing, and it has for all goddamn recorded history.
I think the solution really is to just be honest with yourself and say, I, like everyone else, don't care as long as I'm not the guy in jail or getting shot, and I'm okay with that. That's how everyone really feels. The solution is to just be honest about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing that bothers me in comments is, like, I see all these people saying things like, oh yeah, they should lock up those rioters, yeah, bring the fucking pepper spray with those pieces of shit, and like, okay, if you're rioting, if you're in a riot, it's like, oh, nobody's looking. I can act however I want to. I can devolve to the most base aspect of my human nature. But that's exactly what these fucking anonymous people in comments are doing, that I see making these racist fucking comments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking pepper spray those fucking niggers. Lock those fucking niggers up. You know, like people acting like racist fucking douchebags because they're hiding behind anonymity. And that's no different than the person smashing a fucking police car window, like in the anonymity of the riot, and everyone wants to think like it's kind of like you know, like a religious person being like, well, I would never loot a storefront. I may gossip behind my friend's back all the time, but I wouldn't do this thing, which makes me better than everyone else. And it's like, no, you're still being a fucking douchebag.
How is looting a store any worse than the millions of tiny shitty things you do every single day and don't even think about?
Exactly. A great analogy to this is one that I read from a grade school teacher. And at the start of her class, at the start of the school year for her class, she said, I will not tolerate misbehavior from either you little boys or you little girls. Now, this is how a little boy would misbehave. And she picks up a chalk eraser, and she shouts, and she throws it at the board. She's like, that's how a little boy would behave. And she draws like a little line across the chalkboard with a big spike in the center, and then like a line afterwards. And she's like, now this is how a little girl would misbehave. And she starts saying like, oh,
she gets up in front of the class and starts menstruating.
No, she's like Susie sure is ugly. Oh, Sally sure doesn't look good in that dress. And so she draws along the chalkboard a little kind of a squiggly line underneath the peak of the boy's line, but this long drawn out squiggly line. And she says to him, you know, both of these are misbehavior. Both of them are equally as bad as one another, and both of them won't be tolerated in my classroom. And we have this tendency nowadays where it's like, oh, what, you did something outwardly horrible and this like great expulsion of energy? Well, that's bad. I would never do that. I mean, I would gossip about people and tell lies and act like a petty little asshole, you know, behind the scenes for, you know, years and years and years. But that doesn't compare to somebody smashing a storefront window.
Yeah, it's like people are so like, they have no self-awareness or sense of irony. Like, they're people literally are getting on social media or whatever, and they're saying, people's lives are less important than storefronts.
Yeah. It's
They're a bunch of hypocritical faggots, and that's the human race, and that's America. But luckily, it's not my burden to give a shit. And that's the fuck it philosophy of Jesse Wood.
Well, I mean, you know, we've talked about the real America before, and despite the fact that I'm a lousy Canadian, and despite the fact that I on paper I hate America, I don't actually hate America. I like all my fucking America friends. I like fucking the nation of America. There's fucking beautiful structures and amazing fucking pieces of art and nature, and like all sorts of fantastic fucking shit comes out of America all the goddamn fucking time. So it's like, where's the disconnect there? It's like, Jesus Christ, the people who own the infrastructure of America and use that to do things with it do pretty fucking bad things. They like bomb like brown people in foreign countries. They literally like commit wanton acts of murder. They collect billions of dollars from like human suffering. Like that is textbook evil. That is like James Bond level supervillainy evil. And it sucks because like it's not that I hate Americans. Obviously I don't. I fucking love you, Mr. Jesse Wood. I would have butt sex with you right now. No homo, of course. But I would have butt sex with you right now. But where's I going with that? Something about Obama being gay. I can't remember.
All I know is you've made me the happiest girl at the prom.
I knew I would. But no, it's just like the country's been like hijacked by all these fucking despot fucking fascist mentalities that it's gonna come to this like critical turning point, and it seems to be like getting there, because like I remember like reading, you know, a year ago about like all these local PDs in America buying up all this military equipment, buying up all these like armored vehicles and all these fucking guns and shit like that. And I'm like, you know, when I buy something, I intend to use it. I've never bought a video game that I never planned on playing before. I've never bought a piece of clothing that I never planned on wearing before. If a police department is buying like military weapons and like armored personnel carriers, it's because they intend on using it someday. And that was worrisome as it is. And now I see like, okay, I'm sure that black people and people in general have been getting killed by the police at a horrible rate for a while, but suddenly now it's in the public eye, and it almost seems like it's being pushed there because they want people to be pissy and angry and start these fucking riots and shit, so that way they're like, oh yeah, now we can use all this fucking equipment that we've been building up over the years to fucking really crack down on the citizens, to impose like martial law. And I'm like, I'm not even talking about like a conspiracy here. There's no conspiracy as to whether or not local police departments have been buying this equipment. It's out there in the public eye. Anybody can go and see it. Like it's not, there's no secret to it. They have this equipment now. And why? Why do they have it? Why do they have it? Because they want to fucking use it. It's fucking terrible. God damn it, America. What are you fucking doing?
Yeah. Fuck them. Fuck them! Fire them! I am running for president of the United States, so fuck them. Fuck them. That's... I don't know where I was going with that. You were talking about teachers earlier. Let me tell you about my teacher.
All right.
I had this teacher in 4th grade called Mrs. Johnson. And then I had her again in 6th grade. It was like a Mr. Feeney type situation. Like, she followed me.
Right.
She was like the best teacher ever. Like, she was like I distinctly remember, like, as a kid, like, she was the only, like, she was like the first adult who ever believed in me. And like, she'd have these like parent teacher conferences where like she'd have to talk to my mom and I didn't do my homework or something.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, you know, Jesse never does his fucking homework. He doesn't do shit. But like, I think he's like really smart and he's just bored of it.
Right.
And like, she like always like seemed like she thought really highly of me.
Yeah.
And she was like smoking hot. Like she would always wear these, this is important.
What did she wear? I gotta hear it.
Okay, well, she was a brunette. She was real slim, and she'd always wear these overalls, like, just like a t-shirt and like overalls over it, and like it was like the sexiest. Like I was like 8 years old, and it was like the sexiest thing ever, even to me then. I had like little 8-year-old boners all the time, So I was sitting here. So I was sitting here the other night, and I'm just like, whoa, whatever happened to Mrs. Johnson? I better go to the elementary school faculty page on the internet so I can see her picture and touch myself to my beautiful memories. So then, like, I looked, and it's like, Mrs. Johnson, there it is. She's still at the same school. Then I looked, and I'm like, oh no, she got old.
Oh no.
So now it's just like, take that as a lesson, kids. All your hot elementary school teachers are old as shit now. They're not pretty anymore. They're going to die soon, and you're going to die shortly after them, so you shouldn't give a shit about the police state or the riots. Divorce yourself from it. It doesn't affect your ability to make funny YouTube videos and play video games, so fuck them. And that's the moral of the story, and I learned that from Mrs. Johnson, the hottest teacher of all time.
Now, as retarded as that may sound to some people listening, that actually is a good moral because, like, I'm a firm believer in, like, focusing on the things that are, like, good. Because I could sit here and get all fucking jaded about the state of the world and be like, oh, it's fucking hopeless. Oh, this is fucking shit. And I could be like, you know, fuck it all. I'm just going to do things that I like. But at the same time, like, that's actually, like, a pretty good thing to do. Because, like, a lot of that bad shit, you can't really change. Yeah. But like, you can certainly live your life in a way that you want to. And
if I was a depressed nihilist, or if I was a really happy nihilist, the result would be the same. I would just do things that are cool.
Yeah.
and I guess that's the appeal of nihilism. When you get right down to it.
Fuck. Okay, I gotta take a quick piss. Podcast on pause. Pee time. Peeing.
Podcast on pause. It's a break. This is the intermission. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna drink this disgusting wine. This wine is shit. What is this? Twisted Pinot Grigio, 2013, California. Well, the entire state of California can suck my knob because your wine's bad. I don't even like this wine. Do I even like any wine? I don't even know. I don't like many alcohols. There's not a whole lot of boozes that I chooses, if you catch me. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I was laughing until I coughed. Made me do it.
Yeah.
I need a little pick-me-up. Give me a second here.
Good old Johnny, smoking crack on the podcast.
Don't judge me. I need crack for power.
That fine imported Canadian crack.
Canada does make some very fine crack. We like to take our crack rocks and stamp it with like a little maple leaf so that when we send it down to Southern California, y'all know where that fine Canadian crack rock comes from. When I bake crack or
boil it in syrup.
I don't know if you bake it. When I make up crack in some sort of cooking device, I like to mix in a little bit of maple syrup in there, just to give it that nice Canadian essence to it. So, all you junkies out there who taste maple trees, that was me.
Maple syrup and moose cum.
Well, moose cum is actually a fairly hard commodity to come by these days. I mean, you literally have to chase down a moose and jack it off. And if the moose isn't attracted to you, that's actually pretty difficult to do.
You have to stand pantsless in the forests of Saskatchewan, bent over, with moose pee on your asshole.
Actually, what we do is we take rock salt and we sprinkle it on our asshole because, mooses and deer, they like to lick salt and various things, right? So you stand there with your pants down, with your asshole spread open with a little bit of rock salt. What the fuck am I talking about?
The Great Saskatchewan Riot, when all those mooses got on the bath salts.
Yes. The first thing that came to my mind was like a horrific story about some guy murdering people on a bus, so I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Some moose murdering people on the bus. Just another day in the life of Canada. It's Taxi Driver, but the main character's a moose.
fuck, I'd fucking watch that. That sounds great. You know, I gotta say though, like with all like the moose jokes about Canada, like we legitimately do have like a lot of fucking moose around here. Like maybe in Calgary, we don't see a lot of moose, but pretty much everywhere else, like yeah, like moose are a thing. You fucking see moose places. It's kind of cool. It kind of makes Canada unique. It's like yeah, we got fucking moose.
I can
Let me tell
honestly
you, man,
say,
moose are way fucking larger than you think they are. You think like, oh yeah, moose is probably like the size of like a horse or a cow. No, it's like a double horse or a double cow. It's like twice the fucking like height. It's like a fucking elephant. But like an elephant that can run super fast with no trunk because it has like these skinny little legs. Like moose will fuck your fucking day up. If you hit a moose with your car, you're gonna die.
I can honestly say hitting a moose with my car is in my top 10 fears in life. It has very little chance of happening, but you never know.
There's a good chance you will die. Unless the moose is tall enough so you hit its legs, because then, like, and I think this was on Mythbusters or something, if you hit a tall enough moose, it'll just basically, like, turn the legs into fucking dust, and the whole body will just start cartwheeling.
It's just like the top of your car. It's just the 2000 video by Gorillas. You see it looming over the horizon. You fire your missiles, and it blows them away with a mighty sneeze.
Fuck yes. That is exactly what living in Canada is like.
Thousands of Canadians die that way every day. And the world and America does nothing to stop it.
You guys do nothing to stop it.
There is no moose aid in this in this ill society.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Obama's drone strikes and whatnot, but if he turned them against our crippling moose issue, you know, maybe my stance on his presidency would change.
Oh God. I was at I had like lunch with my mom and my aunt the other day.
Yeah.
And like sometimes when I'm with my mom, I forget that I'm not by myself. So like I say things that I would normally say, but like forgetting that they make my mom uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So like they were having like a discussion about Obama or something, and my mom's like, "Oh, don't listen to her. She doesn't like Obama because he's a Democrat or whatever." And I'm like, "Well, I don't like Obama." And she's like, "Well, why don't you like Obama?" I'm like, "Because he's a murderer."
Yeah. Because like he signs off on drone strikes that like actually kill innocent women and children who are brown overseas.
Because he's a puppet of the Zionist Jews. I said this in a crowded restaurant, by the way. This is like old people having lunch, and I start going on this anti-Israel tirade in front of my mom over my fucking ham and eggs.
Yeah, older people don't like to hear that kind of thing. Now, I will say that like I have no problem with people who are Jewish.
Older people don't want to admit that the kid they saved from that concentration camp years ago grew up to become a fucking evil rabbi who's choking the world's life.
You couldn't even finish that without cracking up.
Oh, fuck.
Dude. My only point was
Zionist demon who bites babies' foreskins off.
God. My only point was going to be that I speak the same way of Israel in the same way that I speak of America. I have plenty of American friends who I love dearly, but I criticize their government heavily. And but the unfortunate thing with the state of Israel is that if you do that very same exact thing, they have the whole anti-Semite thing that they'll throw in your face. And America doesn't really have any sort of catchphrase like that to be like, what? You don't like America? You're an anti-Americanite. You know, it doesn't have the same ring to it. You know, it doesn't have the same like political connotations. So. And I have no idea where I was going with that.
Yeah, like one of my recent heroes, because like you have childhood heroes and then you have like adult heroes that you admire later in life.
Yeah.
Like lately, like one of the people that I like super admire is Danny Sexbang from Game Grumps.
Yeah, dude.
He's so fucking like he gets it. Like he's such a but at the same time like he always talks about having like his dad came from Israel and stuff, and he always and like I think like, man, what if I met him and he hated me because I'm a fucking anti-Semite?
I don't think he would though. I don't think he would. I think he could probably make the same fucking jokes you did.
Because I'm a fucking Kramer guy.
No, Kramer just made like this horrific mistake in his career. Like that's one of those things where, like, to me, Kramer, like, got up and he said a couple of things that, like, if he would have sat there and thought about them for, like, 15 seconds longer, he'd be like, no, that joke's not going to fly.
Well, if you're a comedian and someone's fucking with your set, anyone could lose their temper. That's totally understandable.
Yeah, of course. And he just happened to do it in a certain, like, way or fashion where it's like, nope, saying that is taboo, and now it's going to get spread everywhere. It's like, oh, yep, he's a racist sack of shit. What he said was obviously racist, but, like, is he a person racist? I don't fucking know. I don't know who he is.
No, well, like, he was obviously trying to pull it into some, like, shock thing to, like, people laughing again.
Exactly, yeah. And I myself probably would not try to do it in that same way, but a lot of comedians...
How do you know when you're in the situation how you're going to react until you're in it?
Yeah. Good old Kramer.
Because it's fucking frustrating. Like, you're getting heckled by some guy and you have to say something. What's with him? What is he? Well, he's black. You fucking nigger ass. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just weird that we have, like, all these different words that have, like, these kind of, like, different long-running meanings and connotations to them. It's like sounds we make with our mouths, and you say the wrong one, and it's just it carries different weight with people. It's like I guess a word is more than just a simple sound you make, because, like, if enough people have been making that sound for a long time and they've been making it during certain situations, all those situations kind of carry with that sound you make. Like, that's why saying the word nigger is, like, so appalling these days. It was used for so many horrible things. It's a very difficult thing to get away with. Like, in the world of, like, comedy, only, like, a very skilled, talented comedian, for example, Louis C.K. Yeah, I always get Louis C.K. and Bill Burr mixed up. But anyways, Louis C.K. can get on stage and actually use words that are highly socially controversial and unacceptable and successfully weave them into, like, his comedy narrative where everyone is properly laughing, and where after his set nobody's saying, well, Louis C.K. said the N-word today, and everyone's upset over it, you know? Like, that is a finely honed fucking skill. And I think those people are hugely beneficial to society because they slowly kind of, like, make that word less and less powerful. Because ideally, it would be fantastic for us to, like, you know, live in a world where we don't use a lot of words that have, like, hugely, deeply offensive, negative connotations to people. And sure, sometimes people need to just get the fuck over themselves and stop being offended by stupid fucking shit. But at the same time, some people will be offended by something that we consider to be stupid shit. But it doesn't change the fact that they were legitimately offended by it. Like, some people out there are going to actually be legitimately hurt by something. And even if we don't think they should be, it doesn't change the fact that we are. So we have to be careful in what we say. There's my big rant about fucking words, I guess.
But if you are legitimately offended, you're a faggot. And you're gay, and you have Down syndrome. You're a gay fag with Down syndrome. Also a nigger. And, other things. You're Jew. You're definitely a Jew.
Another great routine that Louis C.K. does is how, like, he's basically trying to take the word faggot away from being a derogatory term about homosexual people. He's like, I don't call gay people a faggot. That'd be disrespectful. I call people a faggot when they're being a faggot. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I can get on board with that. It's like, why should this word be, like, derogatory or, like, bigoted when it could just be a general insult? Like, you're a fucking asshole. You're a dickbag.
But then again,
hot cheese.
To be fair, I think part of the reason why Louis C.K. gets away with it is because every time he says something like that, he goes back and he goes, but then again, also, I'm a racist white cis male shitlord and I deserve to die and all white people deserve to die.
Right. Well, he maintains that balance because, like, he's so sure and confident of himself that it doesn't even matter what he says about himself or other people. He knows exactly who he is, so he doesn't mind saying something to balance out his perceptions of himself.
I fucking hate Louis C.K.
What? No, you don't.
I kind of.
Since when? You always loved him. What the hell?
I've always hated him.
What?
Okay. Fucking. Here's Louis C.K.'s 2 jokes. He only has 2. Young people are stupid and white people are evil. That's all he ever fucking says.
Dude, you never heard the fucking Cinnabon routine? Where he's talking about, like, eating the Cinnabon in the airport that he's arrived at?
Fucking up his own ass.
What?
He
What are
is.
you talking about?
He
hilarious.
has his shitty sitcom where he devotes like 10 minutes to having his character get ranted on by some fat bitch.
I've
and
never seen a sitcom. I've never even seen like a 10-second clip of it. I know it exists, but I've never seen it.
There is literally an episode of his show where he refuses to go on a date with a fat chick, and she just like rants on him for 10 minutes on this social justice tirade about like fat shaming or whatever, and then that's it. Like there's no punchline. He's just like, oh, okay, I guess you're right. It's just like the most transparent, I'm a fucking celebrity now, so I have to get on a fucking pedestal and tell people that they're racists and fucking sexist.
I wouldn't be able to comment on that, in my opinion, because I haven't seen the clip. So.
And it's so seeping into his comedy. Like, he can't even do a stand-up set anymore without shoehorning in this fucking, well, then again, what do I know? I'm fucking white. Shut the fuck up.
You know what? That's basically his own sacrifice that he's choosing to make for fame. Or, like, if that's actually the case, because I don't know, because I haven't seen these clips that you're describing. I don't know. But, yeah, if what you're saying is, like, 100% true, then that's basically somebody who is maybe compromising their morals and integrity, or maybe just, like, bending to basically, you know, they're making a sacrifice for their fame and their career, which some people will do and some people won't. I really can't blame a person either way.
Like, he's still funny, I guess, but it's like he's a faggot.
he's a fat faggot. Louis C.K., you cinnamon bun eating, jizz frosting licking bastard. You finally become a fat faggot in all your fans' eyes.
Fuck you, Louis, you bald piece of shit.
I don't know, man. I think he's funny. I've never seen his show, so like I said, I really can't comment too much or like even have any sort of opinion at all about what you've seen. So, but
the things I've seen, I can't unsee.
I told you not to add me to Snapchat, man. I told you.
You didn't
believe me. Why didn't you believe me?
I've seen white guilt everywhere.
Oh, the internet. What are we doing with it? What the fuck are we actually doing with it? Here's something I've learned recently, my friend. You know all those crazy Tumblr pages with crazy shit? And I don't even need to specify what shit. I'm just talking about the crazy Tumblr pages with crazy shit and the crazy shit that comes out of all that shit. By my estimates, 90% of those people are still in high school. Like 90%. And this is a time when we are all young and stupid and trying to search for identity. I used to dye my hair rainbow fucking colors and dress in all black and leather, like some sort of like I didn't wear the goth makeup, but I was one of those Eurotrap goths. I could not describe how ridiculous I made myself look and how serious I was about it. And that's the crazy crap that's coming out of Tumblr. It's basically just a slightly more organized version of that has like a loose political backing. It's the exact same thing, which is why I've learned. To finish quickly, which is why I've learned not to really pay much attention to it or get too upset about it, because it's mostly just kids who are desperate to find their identity, and I hope they find it. Sometimes it fucks some of my day up, but you know what? I'm certain when I was a young fucking wannabe teenage rebel dirtbag, I'm sure I fucked somebody else's fucking life up and my fucking parents' lives up and that shit. So
well, yeah, they are just kids, but
yeah. The
problem is that a lot of these kids are 35 years old.
Well,
and that's where it gets deeply unsettling.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other 10%, right? There is a 10% out there that, you know, they're working, they have jobs, they've never kind of grown out of that searching for identity stage, and you know, they're adults and they're on the adult world, and they're, you know, they're spreading themselves, you know. Again, like I literally I try to have some kind of compassion for these people, because like I don't know anyone who's just like fine and happy with themselves, who is like so filled with this sort of insatiable rage and anger, you know? Like, I don't know. Fucking internet. We can use it for so many good things, and I see so much crazy crap coming out of it. Because while like-minded people of sanity can come together and exchange information, people who are pissed off and want to fuck shit up and piss all over everyone around them, they can get in a little group and organize that shit. It's terrible.
Yeah, no one is unable to join a fucking group, and that's the problem with everything. The groups have become too widely available.
Yup.
It's too easy to find other people who believe the same idiotic shit you believe.
Yeah. You come up with like the
and nobody fucking
anyone has
slaps
ever
you.
thought of, and it turns out that there's enough people in this fucking goddamn world that somebody out there has also come up with the stupidest thing anyone's ever thought of. And then you both start talking about the stupidest thing anyone has ever thought of. And next thing you know, you really develop the stupidest thing anyone's ever thought of, where it sounds appealing to other people who haven't yet thought of the stupidest thing everyone has ever thought of. And it's a snowball effect. It's a fucking echo chamber.
Every internet functioning device should come with a guy whose job it is to slap you in the face every time you log on as hard as you can. Just preemptively.
Remember, you're a human, man. Yeah. You breathe. You bleed just like them. Be careful out there.
You know what I've been using the internet for?
Masturbating to horse porn?
No! Never!
Never.
Not never.
Well, nobody can say not never. Nobody who's honest with themselves can say not never.
In my ongoing quest to distract myself from the Horseshoe finale that I've been working on since like November.
Yep.
I wrote it in fucking March of last year.
I'm not surprised.
But in my ongoing search for things to distract myself, I discovered fan fiction. And I've just been reading fan fiction for weeks, getting lost in these horrible stories, these poorly spelled horrible stories, and I love them. And I'm gonna write my own, and this is my new calling. I'm gonna be a fan fiction guy.
Fan fiction guy, eh?
Mm.
Just promise me that you'll at least run spell check once. You don't have to go over everything and correct every single fucking little typo.
Well, the problem is that the spell check and the autocorrect canceled each other out.
Fuck. God damn it, it's true.
So we're back to square one as a society. We're back to hieroglyphics.
It's like when the U.S. and Russia both have nukes. It cancels it out. Back to square one. Back to the fucking Stone Age. It pains me. It pains me that people don't that there's still human beings out there who've entered this digital age. They just can't communicate properly through a keyboard. And I don't understand it, especially people who use it all the time. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert typist by any means. I make typos all the fucking time. In fact, I'm fucking terrible at typing. I've been using a computer my whole goddamn life. I still have to look at the keys. I still fucking fuck shit up. And I suspect I'll just simply always be that way because I don't care enough to get better at it. It just works enough for me. But at the same time, if I type out a fucking sentence, I read it over to make sure it's legible. And if I enter a post in Facebook or on some form somewhere, I read it over and I'm like, oh shit, I fucking fucked up this word or something like that. And I go back and fix it. And there's too many people out there who just don't seem to be able to do that. Or worse, people just don't understand the general concept of communicating over the internet. Like when I was going to go buy this pair of rollerblades like a month or two ago, this woman is like, oh yeah, here's my address. It's a couple blocks away. Like, yeah, here's my address. Come by. We'll talk and you can take a look at them and you can pick them up if you want. And I get to her place and it's an apartment. She gave me her address but no buzzer number. How would you ever forget that? How the fuck would you be so oblivious to the world that you wouldn't realize that if you gave somebody your address, they would have absolutely no means of contacting you? I didn't have her phone number. I had her email. But what am I supposed to... Oh, yeah, come over to my apartment and fucking email me? She didn't say that, so... That was, like, a really irritating thing to me, because, like, sure, I can obviously forgive that. It's just, it's a simple oversight. Maybe she just didn't think of that, But for me, who's, like, entered in this fucking world, who has his finger on the fucking pulse of this fucking digital age, and running all these different monitors and all this on his computer all the time, it's irritating and frustrating when somebody overlooks something so simple. So I don't know. You know what? Maybe I should just be more
I
fucking
hate
patient
people
with
who don't know how
like
to
that.
function in the world. They always
Yeah.
drag you down with you. Like fucking like I think that I'm bad at dealing with other people until I meet someone who's really bad at it.
Oh God.
Like
Oh,
I was at a Comic-Con. This was like this was like 3 years ago, and I still remember it because that's how much
Yeah.
it pissed me off.
Yeah.
I bought this like there was this great poster of it was Wolverine underwater fighting a shark,
Yeah.
and it was awesome, and I bought it, but it was too big to carry around, so I just said to the lady, I'm like, okay, can I leave this here with you, and then I'll walk around, and then when the con's over, I'll come back and get it.
Yeah.
And the lady just like looked at me like, you want to do what? You bought it. Why would you? No, it's yours. You bought it. What? Like talking to me like I'm the crazy one.
Right. Right. It's sad. It's sad. I think I just kind of assumed that we all kind of knew how to interact with each
I
other.
wanted to grab her by the hair and shove her head in my asshole.
That's
Teach her a lesson. She will
teach her
never
a lesson.
forget.
Take her out for a nice night on the town. Sad Jesse was an asshole.
This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, but it's for the best. You need to learn. I'm making this sacrifice.
It's sad. Sad. It's a sad thing. You know, I sometimes I think like, you know, the age of the internet, it's hindering people's ability to interact with each other. But then I see like people who just they can't even interact with each other like through the internet. And I don't think the internet is like hindering it. I think it just kind of magnifies certain parts of it. I mean, if anything, interacting too much in the offline world is hindering people's ability to interact in the digital world, which is another thing that I kind of hate and is weird to me when I meet somebody who's like I'm friends with and I enjoy their company, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't really email, like I don't have Facebook, like I don't like, oh, a YouTube channel, like how like what's the address for YouTube? Is it just youtube.com? Like there's people out there who just like live this completely separate life from the internet, and like it's weird to me, man. It's just weird to me because it's like I've met, I can think of like a couple people in my head right now where it's like, yeah, this person's great. I'd like to hang out with them all the time and be their friend. They're awesome people. And then it's like, well, but how do I talk to them when we're not around when we're not around each other? How do I relay information? They don't have a Facebook page. They don't. What am I supposed to fucking do? And I don't know, man. It's and these aren't old people either. These are like young people my age and even younger. Where it's just like
Even like whenever someone like calls me on my phone, I'm like, what the fuck
yeah,
are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing, man?
Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, yeah. You're not even using Skype. Why do you think I would answer you straight through the phone line? Send me a message on Skype first, and then maybe I'll pick up your call. Maybe I'll just ignore it, and not even because I don't want to talk to you, just because I wasn't prepared to speak voice to voice with another human being right now.
I haven't psyched myself up for that yet.
Exactly. Like when I go into public, I'm like, yep, I'm out in public. I talk to people out here, and that's what I do. But like when I'm sitting around my apartment, everything's like 100% quiet. The most I hear is like the quiet hum of my computer, or maybe I have some music playing in the background, just like nice and peace. And all of a sudden someone's like, hey, let's just talk to each other. I'm like, no, I gotta get ready for this shit. I'm not even wearing pants yet.
I hate when I have to like when I go out to like the store to like buy like a drink or a pack of gum or something.
Yeah.
And like I haven't been outside in a while, and I haven't been speaking all day. And like the girl at the cash register is super hot, and then like I have to talk to her, and like my voice comes out not masculine enough, and it's just like,
Why?
yeah, it's like, do you want a bag with that? And I'm just like, no, that's fine, I don't want a bag. Ah.
Or when like you haven't talked to anyone all day, and so you just kind of got this natural buildup of like phlegm in your throat. You don't notice it because it's in this part of your throat that you only use to like speak to people, and you go to talk to somebody. It's like, did you want fries with that? And you're like, sorry. Sorry, I'm fine actually. You know, you get that little bit of like
Yeah.
coffee phlegm coming up through your first like 3 words that you try to say.
little bit of blood puke is nothing to. Don't even ignore it. Ignore the blood puke.
Or the blood.
This is normal for me.
So many places I could go with that.
What is I? What is I?
Well, first you gotta explain what your definition of is.
Oh.
Now, from a Bill Clinton standpoint, that means screwing around on your wife with your intern underneath the table.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, honestly, if I was the president of the United States, I'd be doing that shit all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
what do
don't
you
trust.
expect?
I don't trust a president who's not fucking bitches left and right.
Yeah. Now, the only reason I was led to mistrust him is because he tried to say that he didn't do it. If he would have just been like, hell yeah, fucking stuck a cigar in her pussy and smoked that shit and screwed around and diddler and shit like that.
Can you
like,
imagine?
Well,
Can you imagine being stuck with some angry gargoyle like Michelle Obama, like, combined with all the added entitlement of being first lady?
well, these are all sort of like these like arranged like you know when you see like some fantasy movie with all these demons who rule over the humans and they all interbreed with one another. That's basically how I see like Republicans and Democrats. They're all like these interbreeding other species, otherworldly, powerful fucking gargoyles that just they don't actually love each other. They're like breeding in their family. So like the fire demon family who can like shoot like lightning bolts out of its tail interbreeds with like the frost wielding family who can like has this paralyzing poison in their fingernails, and then suddenly their fucking child or their fucking unit is like, oh, now we can both fucking shoot lightning bolts out of our tails and poison people with our fucking fingertips. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore.
I don't think the first lady should be a thing. I don't think it should be a respected office. It shouldn't be taken seriously. She shouldn't be on my TV. Shouldn't be on the internet.
All that
Like,
that's
whenever she says anything, I'm just like, who are you? You married a guy. Why do I care what you say?
yeah.
That's her accomplishment in life. She married a guy.
That's all public relationship. Like the president is like the fucking human figurehead for all the corporations, and he's like, well, my second in command, like a public relations officer, is my wife. She's gonna go on Oprah and talk about shoes and weight loss and shit like that, and everyone's gonna laugh and cheer her on, and then they're gonna love me because they love her. Meanwhile, I just gotta press this button here and kill a couple brown kids in Afghanistan.
Her entire job is that the president probably fucked her once.
Yeah.
We're not even sure about that.
They had to have fucked at least once. Even Bill and Hillary Clinton had to have fucked like at least once, and it probably wasn't very fun. They probably did it inside a coffin in front of like some like.
Bill Clinton denies that accusation to this day.
What?
Bill Clinton denies that accusation to this day.
All right, maybe I did have sexual relations with that woman, but I did not have sexual relations with my wife.
I would never have sexual relations with Hillary Clinton.
I cannot have that hanging over my head.
She just followed me home one night. I fed her. She won't leave.
Jeez. Oh, politics. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Mr. Jesse Good?
Jack,
Fucking do.
our dicks.
Well, you know, I'm actually getting pretty good at that these days.
Finally,
Fine.
you've been training in the Tibetan mountains for decades. You finally mastered the art of the inverted penis to wrist lock.
Goddamn right I have, man. I beat my dick like it owes me money.
Of the 3-fingered tiddlywink.
Well, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I remember actually dating a girl once who legitimately thought masturbation was a sin. Needless to say, that relationship didn't last very long. But yeah, there's actually like human beings out there who can drive and vote, who think that like they're.
You should have told her bleeding from her cunt's a sin. What are you gonna do about that,
dude?
Now who's in trouble? I can stop jacking off.
Oh God. Yeah, she was a piece of work. She's very twisted up inside. So couldn't be a part of that one. Had to step away. Had to take a little step back there, re-examine my life, exactly what I wanted out of it, and
no daughter of Eve can tell a man he's sinned.
huh? Kind of true. Jeez. Yeah, plenty of bad relationship in the past, but can't really think of too many people that like I really hate because of it. I can think of people who kind of like fucked my life up because of it, but like really, I mean, whatever. I'm fucking fine now. You get your heart stepped on here and there. It's like, yeah, you know, it's just kind of young and stupid. Fucking get over it.
Yeah, same here. There's not like an ex-girlfriend that I am mad at.
Yeah.
Like, even if she, like, was really horrible, I don't care. I'm fucking, years ago. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, girls who didn't go out with me, on the other hand, that's a grudge I'll hold until my dying breath.
Yup.
I can put up with any amount of heartbreak as long as you fucked me once.
Huh. Yeah, you know, I think
that's the sacrifice all men are prepared to make.
Yeah. That would have made a lot of things easier. Yeah, I can think of like a bunch of girls that I've asked out and I got kind of like rejected or friend zoned by. If we would have screwed at least once, it would have been like, well, you know, all right, well, okay.
That's what you should tell your sons when they're born.
Yeah.
Son, people will hurt you all your life, but some of them will let you fuck them.
Yeah. So make sure you fucked as many as you possibly can.
What about the ones who don't let me fuck them? Kill them.
Oh, God.
Kill them and rape them, my boy.
God, dude. That escalated quickly.
I can't wait to raise my progeny and set it loose on this earth.
Set it loose. Like some gargoyle in a cave that you've had
with all my warped wisdom flowing through the electrical circuits of his demon brain.
Just imagining you opening like this little hatch to this like barbed kennel. Just go forth, young neophyte. spread my disease upon the planet. Oh man.
Cleanse the earth, my boy! In an avalanche of debauchery.
Soon they'll hate each other as much as they hate you. And then when everyone hates everyone, no one will hate anyone.
Then the real rape can begin.
Oh, God. Oh. That's been productive. I feel like we really accomplished a lot here tonight.
The triumphant return of the Bits and Brews Pantsless Ass Cast.
That's right. Missed it. It's been good times. Just yelling, ranting, talking about some things that matter, some things that don't. A little bit of bits, a little bit of booze, and a little bit of party. Throw a little bit of cast in there, and what do you got? You have a video that people are going to listen to. And if they made it this far, I have no idea what you're doing with your life. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. But here we are together. So, Christ, let's fucking party. What it all comes down to. Could you imagine if we had like 50,000 people listening to this every single time? And we were like sponsored by like audible.com.
Then we could really change the world. We could really have a positive effect then.
Oh yeah. And we'd talk about the exact same things. We wouldn't change anything. And the whole time we'd be like, man, could you imagine if we had our own TV show? Then we could really have a positive effect on the world. But now let's get fucking drunk and talk about horse porn. I assume which is what most people would come here to listen to. I mean,
50 million people are listening in with bated breath. Hey, what would happen if you raped the president's wife and then the president walked in and then he raped her with you? And then everyone...
What?
and then he came faster than you, would she then be your wife?
We'd have to leave that open to audience poll, which is where the beauty of having a popular podcast would be, because you could have like a little poll on the website. People could click yes, click no, click undecided, and then you could like publish the whole results in your following podcast. You'd be like, all right, you guys got to listen to the next podcast to see what you guys voted for.
What if I built a fun house and there was like a hallway, like a narrow hallway, and I nailed dildos all over the wall, and you just had to walk past as these dicks brushed against you?
Dude, that's life.
In order to get to the treasure at the end. And the treasure is death.
That describes my life. Yeah, that's the human experience. You're in a funhouse, walking past a hall of just constant dicks, trying to get to a treasure, and the treasure is dying. Yeah. As one of my good friends has always said, life is a wall of dicks that you have to climb with your mouth.
Whoa.
God bless you, Josh. Semper fucking Fi. He's not in the military. He's just a fucking weirdo. I love him.
He's in the... I don't know.
Neither do I. Well, it's been an hour. I say we wrap this fucking shit up. Lest we go for less interesting hours to follow.
What?
Well, I say we wrap the podcast at the hour mark and say fucking Bits and Poo's PartyCast complete. And then we whip our dicks out and start slapping them against the microphone.
Well, I've been waiting for that since we started. It's the only reason I agreed to do this in the first place 3 years ago.
All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's...
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
No!
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 Bits and Poo's PartyCast right there.
Oh!
We just got every single person who listened to that pregnant.
And that's the story we call the miracle at St. Anna.
St. Anna?
Yeah, it's a movie by Spike Lee about a bunch of black guys in World War II slapping their dicks together on a little Jewish boy's forehead.
What?
And then the Jewish boy grows up to be an Italian man.
That doesn't sound right.
At some point, there's tits in it. It was a great movie. 10 out of 10.
You need Jesus. You need like...
My dick hurts. I fucking flopped it around too hard.
Somebody needs to grind Jesus up, boil him in some water, soak out that essence, and then let it evaporate so you just get that raw Jesus crust, and then mix that with a fine alcohol solution. And just inject it into you.
Instead of turning into crackers, Jesus should have had his bones grounded down into cocaine and had the apostles snort it.
That'd be a pretty interesting religion where like they snort the Eucharist of Christ, and then they could take the wine and like stick like a beer bong in their ass and just pour it down there.
I want someone to repaint the Last Supper with everyone like doing shots and like butt chugging and
butt chugging.
There's a birthday clown in there somewhere.
A broken piñata on the ground. Huh. Sounds
Judas
like
is just in the corner holding his forehead like, oh my god.
Yeah. I can't believe I said these guys were cool. Ugh. It would be funny if like somebody painted that, and then like in like 2,000 years, the old painting got destroyed, and like that was the new one, and it was like super highly revered, but it was just some idiot's fucking drunken joke on the original good painting. But everyone in the future was like, oh, I get so much meaning from this. Like look at the way Judas's nutsack is lightly brushing against Peter's passed out, vomit-covered face. It's like he's prophesying his own betrayal by teabagging him.
That's probably like all art is just like a messed up version of older art. Like Leonardo da Vinci's like the Vitruvian Man.
Yeah.
Like the original was just like this cave painting of a guy fucking a dog.
Yeah, yeah. And Leonardo was like, Huh, that's actually not a bad idea. Do my own little spin on that. There you go, Vitruvian Man.
The original statue of David's dick touched the floor. But they messed it up. Michelangelo messed it up because he had penis envy. Because he had a little one, so everyone must have a little one. So he dedicated his life to sculpting statues with little dicks.
Christ.
Broken, flaccid penises.
That's what I do. It's funny the fine line between like nudity and pornography or like art, and it's amazing. Like on YouTube, like you can look up like the full gynecological exam. You can see a doctor stick a speculum into a chick's vagina, like open it up, and like you can see like straight up vag. But it's like, oh well, it's a medical examination. That's fine. And like I even remember seeing this art video of like this naked French chick who was hot as holy fucking hell, tiny little trim bush in the front, amazing fucking tits, walking around all these like mannequins as like this art thing. And it's like, yep, that's allowed on YouTube because you know that's art. But then just like somebody who like just shows tits, it's like, no, pornographic, must go. It's like this weird, bizarre, arbitrary line. It's like, who really decides if it's art or not? Like if that chick amongst the mannequins there, if she just had a YouTube channel and she just had a video of her showing her tits, it'd be like, no, it's taken down. But it's like, oh, she's walking amongst mannequins, and some guy who's affiliated with the art scene was filming it, and he has his name attached to it, so now it's technically considered art. But it's like, you're still seeing fucking tits. Either way.
That's like, there's like...
tits on YouTube.
I was going to do a video about this on my anime channel thing.
Yeah.
Eventually. About this like badass old anime from the 80s called Gunbuster.
Yeah.
And like the fucking like it's like most famous for like introducing jiggle physics to boobs in cartoons.
Right.
But like it's really badass. But there's like it's a great movie. There's just tits everywhere. But like I was gonna do a review it, and I want to like not censor the tits at all.
Yeah.
Because like the whole point of the review is that I'm saying that you know it's boobs and it is sexualized, but it's not. It's fucking art. It's a work of art.
Yeah.
And if you fucking put it on, if you fucking say that someone has to like censor it or put a dot over the nipples to put it on YouTube, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you're a detriment to the human race.
Yeah. Can we not just have some sort of like, I'm over 18, click this to fucking see that kind of shit on YouTube?
Yeah. And I don't even know. Like, I'll probably get like a strike on my account, or it'll probably get like banned for having 30-year-old anime nipples.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it anyways because I think it's important, and it also will be cool, and I'll feel like a cool guy, and I'll feel like a smart person, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. Feeling like I'm smarter than everyone else, and standing on a pedestal, just like my hero Louis C.K., and feeling like I'm teaching the world a valuable lesson.
And we've come full circle. Jeez. No, I don't know. The whole nudity thing, that's something that's been on my mind recently, where it's like, all right, I get, maybe we have to have some sort of limitations or restriction in public, but like, why is some nudity why is there these strange arbitrary lines? Like, who's deciding that? Like, why is it okay to have like a naked chick on YouTube in one sense, but not in another sense? Like, who is deciding like, oh, well, you can't have just some girl taking her shirt off because that's considered pornography because it turns somebody on. Who's deciding that? Like,
it's like this weird dichotomy where like our culture is like totally obsessed with sex.
Yeah.
Which is fine because we're supposed to be as like biological organisms.
That's
but
why
at the same time,
are still a thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like everything is sex, but don't be naked.
Yeah.
You have to do it through a fucking sheet.
Yeah.
Like fucking Mortimer Goldstein.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. What the fuck is up with that?
Do it through a fucking sheet with a blindfold on, sunglasses over the blindfold, and 2 eye patches, and another eye patch on your dick. A fucking mud flap from an old truck on the vagina.
Oh my god.
Fucking a bubble wrap garter belt. So that it pops and everyone can hear that you're having sex and knows that you're sinning against God.
Everybody. Fuck. It's an interesting contrast between like North American culture and Japanese culture, where it's like North American culture, you can show everything except the nipple. But Japanese culture, it's like, well, we just won't draw the nipple, and then we can show everything. But it's like North American culture, it's like we don't have any cartoons like that, you know? Like all of our cartoons, they have to have the nipple covered.
The Japanese are even weirder. Like when you watch Japanese porn, like the dicks are all blurred out and the pussies are blurred. Like the dick is going in the pussy, but it's blurred out. Like I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Dude, that's
stupid.
okay. That's where bukkake originally came from, because like they wanted to make some kind of porn where they could show that like there's actually like a sexual process going on. So they had a whole bunch of guys like jizz on a chick's face, where it's like, well, we don't technically have to censor anything out, but like, hey, look, everyone's jizzing.
The one shining testament to the Japanese way of life, bukkake, their greatest contribution to society. I can't believe we bombed them after they gave us bukkake.
I know, right?
Or maybe that was after, as like a let's be friends.
Yeah.
Bukkake. It's, you know, the war is over. Let's be friends. Here's some bukkake and some anime, and even some anime bukkake. Fuck it.
Fucking Japanese people, man.
They're the best. I want to live there for 1 week and then not live there anymore.
Do it, man. If you ever get the chance to be in Japan for any span of time, do it. It's like, you ever have like a really weird dream that seems really real? That's fucking Japan, man. That literally is Japan. You were probably dreaming about being in Japan when you had those dreams.
It's so weird because like it's such a like alien culture to our own, but then like, you know, as like the fucking stuff, like even though like there's like it's a totally different culture, you've got stuff like Yojimbo and the Seven Samurai, and then you've got anime and all this stuff that like is totally relatable to other parts of the world, to the West, and it's like a testament to how people are all the same. I'm drunk.
It's all good. I'm drunk and stoned.
The shallow, artificial, arbitrary dividers of culture can do nothing to separate the true oneness of the human experience.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's why you should always show the tits in Gunbuster when you put it on YouTube.
Exactly. I don't even get the premise of like, oh, we have to like hide that from little kids, you know? Because like some 12-year-old kid, if he wants to see boobs and he has access to a computer that has the internet, he only has to press 5 keys on the keyboard, B-O-O-B, enter, and he will see tits. Like, it'll take less than 10 seconds. So why are we so concerned about like, no, you can't have animated boobs on YouTube? Oh, that's pornography. Kids might see it. Where is this coming from? Like, a kid is gonna see it regardless, you know? And even if the kid does, how is that bad? Like, who of us, like, who's running the country where it's like, I didn't see a boob until I was married to my only girlfriend and I saw it on our honeymoon. Like, really? Is that the people who are running this fucking country? Or does everyone just, like, wish that's who they were? Because I don't know anyone who fucking wishes that's who they were, you know? Like, where is this fucking coming from?
Dude, fuck, I would rather be dead than be that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I would go through my hard drive and I watch videos of myself from, like, years ago, like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and I just watch old videos of myself and I think to myself, yeah, I've had sex with way more women than that faggot. and it feels so good to have that thought and say that and know that it's true.
Yep.
Just why would you want to not be a guy like that? Why would you want to look back on yourself and have only done the same amount of debauchery in your life? You should always be upping the ante. You should always be becoming more of a vile animal as you get older, until you're just 80 jacking off in the supermarket. That's the American dream. That's my American dream.
I love, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Little Miss Sunshine, but like the grandpa in it, He's like snorting heroin and shit, and like his family catches him. They're like, "What, Dad? Why are you doing this? You're insane." He's like, "At my age, you'd have to be insane not to do it."
Yeah,
and I'm like, huh. I guess I can't really argue with that.
When I'm 80, I'm gonna do all the stuff I was afraid to do when I was young.
You might as fucking well.
Gonna fucking snort AIDS up my ass.
How would you do that? You'd have to like exhale a whole bunch of air out of your bowels and create this kind of like vacuum. Maybe you could use like some kind of straw where you could like pucker your butt cheeks and put this like wide mouth McDonald's straw in it, and then like you'd have to like kind of hover over the line and then just kind of like suck in and like inhale all this shit into your asshole.
I think I saw a Japanese porn of that. I saw a video once of like this girl who shoved an entire live octopus in her pussy.
Yep.
And then there's another time, it was like reverse birth porn, where like this bald guy oiled up his head.
Yeah.
And he stuck it all the way inside her.
Yeah.
And that was the moment that I was proud to be a member of the human race.
Yeah, definitely.
I never looked back.
I never looked back.
If aliens are judging us and they run across that clip, I will proudly proclaim this is my species.
Yup. We can stick our heads in our women's...
Right back up there. Right back up that hairy Asian cunt.
And you know what? Any aliens who are worth their medal would respect us for that.
I think every alien race in the universe, in the galaxy, is all united. They all have their own Asia and their own Asian porn.
That's such a great concept, like an alien nation who like has their own like fucked up little country that just has fucked up porn. It's like, yeah. You meet this intergalactic species and they learn about the Japanese people on your planet. They're like, well, you guys have Asians too? And we're like, yeah, of course we do. Like, fuck, those guys make the weirdest porn. You'd be like, yeah, I know, right?
That's one of those like logical truths that makes me glad that the universe exists. Like, if there's alien life, then aliens have porn.
Yeah.
And that warms me up inside.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
There's like some shadowy in a bunker in Area 51, like two grays going at it.
Oh, you know what's a really weird concept? Okay, you know like humans have just the two genders, like male and female? What if other species have like 3 genders? Or 4 genders? And like what if like some of the genders can all do it with each other, but some of them can't? Or what if there's like another race where like everyone can do it with each other, where you can have like 4 different genders with all these different parts, and they can all fuck each other in like this little fucking centipede circle?
I mean, a race like that would
have, right?
I think a race like that would have killed themselves off pretty quick.
No way. If anything, they would have exploded in population because you have, instead of 2 people fucking, you have 4 people fucking, and everyone gets pregnant.
That's true. Well, I'm saying like we can barely get along, men and women, just having 2 genders.
Oh yeah, this is true.
So if you had like 8, if you had people with like pussies on their foreheads or something, you'd be like, what are you even doing here? Go back to fucking Pussyfaceville, you lower fucking, you plebeian. Leave us foot pussies alone. Nobody has dicks. Every gender is just a pussy is in a different place. And they mate by like releasing their spores into each other.
What would it be like though if like people only reproduce just by themselves, or if you're just like, yeah, I want to have a kid, you just like, I don't know, like push some little fucking spot on your neck and like concentrate really hard, and it's like, yeah, I'll have a kid now.
That's like, well, that's what's his name? Geppetto.
Huh.
He made Pinocchio.
The Pinocchio guy?
Yeah, out of his own wooden boner. And then I like how this started out like us having a serious conversation about like politics and like riots.
Now we're talking about boners.
And now we're talking about Geppetto's wooden boner and aliens having sex in their forehead pussies.
Anything less would be uncivilized.
Little wooden boy to come on me. Little wooden boy, I'll jizz on thee. Clap your little feet and clap, 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 and suck my little cock.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say that Pinocchio's nose was modeled after Geppetto's dick, because every time he'd tell a lie, it would grow bigger. No, don't worry, I won't come in your mouth. I won't come in your mouth. I swear, I won't come in your mouth. It only made him harder.
Do you think Geppetto ever tried to nail Pinocchio in the butt and got splinters? Is the question that really needs to be answered by historians, by the reanimated corpse of Walt Disney. We need to find him. We need to find his ancestors and his descendants. Get them all in a room together and have them debate until we can come up with a satisfactory answer, because that's what we need to give the aliens in our report to prove that we are ready to join the council of galactic smart people.
I can't argue with anything that you just said. I'm 100% on board.
E.T. looks like a testicle sack.
He does. Maybe there's actually like a race of like aliens out there where like their bodies look like our dicks, but their dicks look like our bodies.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. They have these little.
I'm sort of picturing like a
crotches,
like a
talking shit.
Remember in South Park, in the one of the early ones when Scuzzlebutt had Patrick Duffy for a leg?
Yeah,
I'm just picturing like a Patrick Duffy hanging from someone's ball sack.
Yeah, exactly. There's some aliens out there like, dude, have you guys seen humans? They all look like our dicks, man. It's crazy. I saw this one human who totally looked like my left testicle.
And what do their dicks look like?
It's been very enlightening. Very enlightening experience.
I hope everyone watching at home, the millions and millions of real Americans watching at home, I hope you've all learned something. I hope you've all learned a valuable lesson. I hope you've all learned something that you'll never forget for as long as you live, even when you're old, even when you're telling your grandkids about this, when you're telling your fucking kids about the time you were on the Titanic, and everyone had dicks bodies made of dicks. The whole boat was made of dicks. The Titanic crashed into a giant dick, and it sunk into an ocean of cum. And Leonardo DiCaprio died in cum. He died freezing to death in cold cum.
That's an Easter egg on the Blu-ray, I heard.
James Cameron was the director.
Sounds about right. James Cameron. There we go. Make it even better.
Were you there the time that me and Pete started drawing gay of Thrones?
Oh my god, I was actually just looking at those like man. I was going through my fucking C drive. I put everything to like large icons. I was like looking for something. And I started seeing these images. I'm like, holy shit, I remember that. There's like the Iron Throne, but it's made of like all these dicks and shit like that. Oh, fucking beautiful.
We did it. I don't remember any of them besides the dicks. Oh, I don't remember fucking. It was good. It was good, people. People!
What if there's an alien that had like a dick on the front of himself and the back of himself?
Like a dick coming out of his butt, like a dick butt?
Yeah, but he could only come if he was like fucking two other aliens at once. So it's like a human where you can only impregnate one person at one time. An alien could only impregnate two people at one time. Like if there's just one person, it wouldn't work. Like he had to have stimulation from both of his dicks.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
What if you had...
This is what keeps me up at night.
What if you had like a dick coming out of your butt? The dick coming out of your butt is like a little bit longer than your front dick.
Right.
And like you don't poop out the butt dick is what you poop out of. Like it opens up wide like a turtle dick.
Okay.
And blows a long steady stream of rock solid shat.
Right.
And then I don't know. I guess that's it. That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. Just that's how your second dick works. All right. I found these pictures of the Game of Dicks. Game of Dicks starring Query and Lannister. Winter is coming. Just
Winter is coming.
he's sitting on this giant dick, and then there's Game of Dicks. Edmer's Red Wedding. He's got his
I remember that one.
Face. Game of Dicks. The death of Nob Stark. He's just dead on the ground, jerking off into his own face. And then Game of Dicks starring Khal Brogo. It's just this Mr. T looking guy wearing a tight shirt and this fucking hat. And then finally, yeah, Game of Dicks. Who will sit the scrotum throne? It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh,
That's what we do with our lives. That's what we are. This is what we do.
Little wooden cocks.
So many dicks. Oh, ketchup chips. Good to the last drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna go to bed soon, because, oh, shit. Oh, I was looking through this folder that had all these Game of Dicks pictures, and there's, like, this really cute picture I took of this girl that I dated last year in this fucking fountain and shit. Now I'm sad.
Oh, man, I know that feel.
Because it didn't work out. She was really pretty, and I liked her.
Oh.
But
Did you make the sex with her, though?
one time, yes.
That's all that matters, son.
But I was too drunk to enjoy it.
No!
I know. Oh my god, I just found a picture of Threeborg. That was the thing.
Threeborg.
Yeah. He has dicks for hands, and one of them is a flamethrower. And he has testicles for his chest, and like a metal jaw.
You know, the... What?
I didn't even... I
forgot all the different varieties of Borg.
Yeah, me too.
Threeborg and Twoborg.
I totally forgot about Threeborg. I think there's just this one image of him. That must have been, like, right near the end of that night when we were all, like, crazy fucking drunk and shit or something. Because I remembered all the shit about Tuborg. I did not remember Threeborg until just now. But it is glorious.
It didn't work. Oh, he sent it again. I canceled it. I broke it.
Cocksucking faggot.
Are you sure you want to cancel? No, I don't want to cancel. It's not even what I clicked, you shit. How do I make... Are you sure you want to cancel? Fuck you! I don't want to cancel it! I don't want... Wait a minute. Here comes Threeborg. Where is he? He's downloading. This is it. Here he comes. Yes! God, I love MS Paint. Fucking Threeborg. We did it. I can't even tell, like, which of these I drew, which ones Pete drew. They all put together.
I just sent that to Pete on Facebook. I just randomly sent it to him.
It'd be funny if he drew it and he doesn't remember and thinks that you're sending him a new one that you drew.
He just said, he just laughed. He's like, did I make that one? I'm like, I have no fucking idea, but I assume so, and it's glorious.
Dude, I remember this one time. I was at this party. And I kissed 2 of my female friends.
Oh.
Not even just 1, 2 of them. It was the
Nice.
best party ever.
Nice.
I kissed them right on the mouth.
And obviously, it wasn't one of those parties where it's like you got slapped right afterwards. It was weird. Just
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm kissing you.
And it's like, and I'll bet you anything that they don't even remember. They don't even care.
I guarantee you they remember, 100%.
But I'll remember for the rest
I
of my
guarantee you
life.
they remember.
They better.
Yeah. Have you remembered, like, every kiss you've had? Like, maybe not every single individual one, but all the people you've kissed? Of course you fucking do.
You know what? There was a girl who I was, like, super in love with, who totally friend-zoned me. I was super beta
Yeah.
for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I was always just like begging like an embarrassing little puppy man. But one time, just one time, I was just drunk enough, and she was just drunk enough that she let me smooch all over her neck.
Lovely.
So, take that. You can't fucking say that I didn't get some, you bitch. I'll take that. I'll fucking wear that proudly on my fucking body until my dying day. So whenever she says that that she said no, I said nah. I kissed you. Fuck you.
Yep. That's
you
right.
dummy. You stupid dummy.
It's done in the past.
The point of the story is that I win. I always win.
Winning. Remember when Tiger Blood was a thing?
What?
Remember when Tiger Blood was a thing? And
What's
winning
Tiger
and
Blood?
Charlie Sheen and all that shit?
The secret to winning is to redefine the parameters of winning.
That's easy.
I don't need that bitch to love me. I kissed her neck, which is clearly all that I really wanted. So I win. And that's the narrative I choose to believe to get me through the rest of my life.
I reject any side reality and substitute my own preferred one.
You know what was weird? One time, it was like the morning after a party, and I was like in the bed.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just slamming your cock on the keyboard.
No, just fucking. For some reason, like typing is picked up by my microphone way louder than just talking, and everybody tells me so.
One time, this might be a story that I've told before. I don't even know. This seems like a story I would tell constantly because it's hilarious to me. This one time, it was like the morning after a party, and I was like groggy and like sort of waking up with like that kind of waking up when you're still dozing off.
Yeah.
And that girl came in the room, and I remember reaching up and like grabbing her vagina.
Wow.
It's like cupping it, like completely. And the thing is, I don't remember if it was real or a dream.
Oh, man.
And I've never asked her about it. And we've never spoken of it, so I'll never know.
Oh my god, that's great. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It's just both is and it isn't until you finally ask her.
I both did and did not get to third base, and that's the way it's gonna be forever.
Oh my god, that's great. It's fucking great.
Schrodinger's pussy.
Schrodinger's pussy. It is.